no one can make an intelligent decision without being properly informed. This is why this world wants to control the media. This is why media hype can take you up, take you down. So you don't know anymore who's really good, because the media can make a wicked man look good and make a good man look evil. That is why.
Watching a special edition of the Farrakhan News Hour. I'm sitting here with my brother Sayeed Malik, aka True Equality. We're coming out of issue volume number 31, number 6, and 7. This is number 7 right here. Farrakhan addresses Prairieview A&M college students, where he told them we must become a productive people. And then this other issue that we have going is number 6. I'm gonna just show you that one because I don't have one. No, that's the wrong one. Get myself together. How can we survive? Do for self. Brother Sayeed, what's going on, brother?
Not much, brother. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing well. Praise be to Allah. Alright, so look, the first thing we want to talk about, there's an article, man, in this number 6, the one that I just showed you, this one right here, dealing with this cat right here. And I gotta tell you, I like this, brother. This is Herman Cain. In the article, it comes from the Associated Press, and it appears on page 4 of number 6, which is the paper I just showed you. And it says, woman accuses Cain of bold sexual advance. And it's speaking about this woman named Herman Malik. I wish I had a picture of her, but she ain't much to look at anyway, so it's all good. But I'm gonna just read this this first paragraph. Leaving little to the imagination, a Chicago area woman on Monday accused Republican presidential hopeful Herman Cain of making a crude sexual advance more than a decade ago when she was seeking his help finding a job. Come clean, Herman Malik challenged Mr. Cain at a November 7th news conference in New York, at which she described herself as a face and a voice to support other accusers who have been, or who have so far remained anonymous. So, did you hear about Herman Malik?
I did hear about Herman Malik and the allegations in regards to Herman Cain.
How's she come across to you? Did she sound real?
You know, to me it's just typical. You know, this is just the same story, just wrapped up and remixed all over again in 2011. You know,
right.
This is, you know, any black man that is trying to gain a position or political seat or whatever, and when you have enemies and when you have people who are against you, they'll pull anybody from your past to smear your name in front of the public. But I don't think she was lying.
You don't think she was lying?
No.
This one, man, the Herman Malik woman, I think she was lying because her story just sounded real fishy. She said the two had finished dinner and were in a car for what she thought was a ride to an office building. Instead of going into the offices, he suddenly reached over and put his hand on my leg, under my skirt toward my genitals, she said. He also pushed my head towards his crotch, she added. She tells, and I think I heard on the news her response was, "Stop, I have a boyfriend."
Ain't that what they say?
I mean, I mean, if you reaching for a chick Jones, that's what she gonna say. Stop, I have a boyfriend. Not, nah, nigga, get your hands off me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man.
Well, maybe he was getting some pizza sauce on her skirt or something. She got mad. Maybe she just was trying to get her dry cleaning bill paid.
Right. And truthfully, man, I mean, let's just ask this question. I mean, because Brother Askia wrote an article that appears right next to this one on the same page, page 4, and it says surging GOP candidate was never seen as a true contender. So he was leading the polls, because he came up with his 999 plan and whatnot. But I mean, in truth, was he ever really a contender? I mean, truly.
Well, you said he was leading the polls, though.
Yeah. But I mean, in 2012, realistically, do you see them having Herman Cain as the GOP presidential candidate facing off against Barack Obama?
I think anything is possible, especially now when you're dealing with politics and media, and we might as well have anybody can run. It could be him. I think that anything is possible.
So Herman Cain is the anti-Obama.
He is the Cain to the Democrats' Abel.
Look, we got let's see what we got going on here.
He look like he got that Beijing in his hand.
We got Herman Cain and Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Old Negro versus a new Negro.
Dark skin versus light skin.
That would be a battle of epic proportions.
Sound like an age-old squabble if you ask me.
Put one nigga against another nigga. But I ain't buying it, man. It's gonna be. I think they juicing us up, man, for.
So why don't you think that he would be their front man?
Barack Obama. I mean, I don't think that he would be the next man because he don't have no foreign policy experience, and that's not really the main reason. But I mean, he stumbled pretty hard on the Libya question, and I don't know, man. He just don't fit the mold, man. I just don't see a bunch of conservative Republicans going to vote for a Negro from Atlanta. I just
but in 2008, Barack Obama didn't fit the mold, and they said that he
he fit the mold though. He's nice and light skinned. He was safe. Herman Cain is like an old country Negro from Atlanta. He ain't mess around.
He knows some things.
Like he's for real. He's like a descendant of slaves. Herman Cain, Barack Obama, and that's the thing. That's the thing that we have to realize, that Barack Obama, man, he's an African American in the truest sense of the word because his father's African, his mother's white. But man, that Negro, he don't identify with us
at all.
Now I wanted to talk about another thing because there's another piece that appears in the paper. We'll get off these politics for a minute, and we're gonna talk about the NBA piece. David Stern, and well, not my man. I can't stand this slave master ass. But the NBA players appear to be standing up, man. They not going for it. They like, we might not have an NBA season. These dudes are not bucking. They are not bending. They are not bowing. They want whatever they want. I don't know what that is, but they not giving in. What's your take on that whole situation?
I think if you really want to show some power, if you really want to stand up, why don't they pull their resources with some of the former NBA players like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and all of these top former NBA players and construct their own professional basketball league. If they want to play basketball and they want to make some money and they want to separate themselves from what the NBA is bringing to them, really do something revolutionary.
B, what you think, brother? You think the NBA players could start their own league? Is that a reality?
Yeah, I think it's a reality. It's just a matter of getting the right people in place and just the resources together. I think it's possible.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's something that certainly should be considered.
But is it likely? Probably not.
Right. And, just keep in mind, like this paper is talking about do for self. Forget about David Stern. Do for self. You know what I'm saying? But I think that whole fear factor is the main thing that's going to get in the way of these cats doing something for themselves. It's that we don't think that we can do it.
I think if they was to cut themselves from the umbilical cord, they might realize that they can breathe on their own.
Right.
They don't need to suck on the mammary gland of the NBA. They can do it on their own. But you got to have some brave souls to do it, though.
Right. And, these are stories that only appear in the #1 newspaper on the planet, Final Call newspaper. Go to www.finalcall.com and pick this up. You can also pick it up in Denver locally at Supreme Styles at 5732 East Colfax Avenue. But yeah, man, them brothers, they really need to do something for themselves, man. They really do. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, but it's definitely something that they should have on their mind. Another thing that's very prominent is going on, we just want to touch on, and they talk about it in the paper. And this paper is so full, but we just chopping it up. We just want to touch on a few things. But this whole Occupy movement, so Occupy Wall Street, now you have Occupy Denver, Occupy Boulder, people are going bananas, Occupy Oakland. Let me see if I can find this. Here's a picture of some people in Oakland where they've really just been banging it out with the police. What's your thoughts on the whole Occupy movement, Brother Sayeed?
I think it's good for white folks. I think it's, they need jobs, and they need housing, and they need food, and they need benefits, and all of these things, and they're not getting these things from their government, and they're protesting. And it sounds a lot like back in the day when black folks were protesting for equal rights.
Right.
Now it's white folks who don't have equal rights. So now there's a real problem. So they are in arms, and they are getting their heads beat. And I'm just kind of waiting on when the water holes and the dogs will go get sick on them.
Well, there you go, see no dogs on the white people.
but it's funny because back in the 60s you had black folks getting whooped, and you had a white president. Now you got white folks getting whooped, and we got a black president.
And a Negro president, he's putting it down too.
But it's I think it's a good start for some change, but change for who?
Right. And that's the thing. This article appears on page 4 of the paper with this paper right here. Appears on page 4. But it starts out, riot-clad law enforcement officers cleared out a weeks-old anti-Wall Street encampment in Oakland just before dawn November 14th after issuing several warnings to Occupy demonstrators. Protesters appeared to put up little resistance to the raid, and the officers could be seen leading some handcuffed demonstrators away from the downtown plaza where the camp had been set up. Warnings from the Oakland authorities have been similar to those issued before officers raided the encampment on October 25th with tear gas and beanbag projectiles. And the thing about these Occupy people, man, is they don't seem to be going away.
They're not going nowhere.
They are set.
It's going to be interesting how this whole thing pans out, And when I do see a couple brothers and sisters out there, protesting and everything. But I think a lot of them kids are college kids, young people.
Right.
And they homeboys or whatever has encouraged them to come out, and they support. But I wonder if those brothers and sisters that are out there protesting, do they really know their history or their people's history here in this country? And what is the motivation for them being out there?
And what I'm reminded of, man, is, that's a good question, is what the Honorable Minister Min Farrakhan said, when Obama and NATO went into Libya back in March, and he said, man, because it was about that whole Arab Spring thing, and Minister Farrakhan told him, he said, what are you going to do when it's your people out in the streets protesting you? And it can't be a coincidence that 6 months later, it's people protesting all over this country, and they protesting this unequal distribution of wealth, how 1% of the population control 40% of the wealth. They protesting 9.1% unemployment, which means you got how many million people have jobs, you know what I'm saying?
They got some valid points, but this has always been a struggle for black people.
Always. Yeah, we're not really tripping.
This ain't really brand new.
We are not really tripping. But we just wanted to stop in and holler and let you guys know to come and visit Supreme Style Barbershop, the greatest barbershop in the land. Here's a picture of it.
It was all good just a week ago. Niggas feel they self, and now watch the throne drop. Niggas kill they self. What niggas gon' do, ho? Just a new crack on a new
Small newspaper. Like I said, you can pick that up at Supreme Style, 5732 East Colfax. Pick up this. This is an issue that was previous to that one. We carry all these issues here. And pick up, again, this one right here. Bam! Do for self. It's powerful. Time to go. Until next time, we out. Peace. Stay black. Stay strong. Holla.
Slow motion in here.
No one can make an intelligent decision without being properly informed. This is why this world wants to control the media.